So today's Cardinal lesson, we're talking about tax proofing your IRA 401k. And we're really talking about this for people in their 60s, although this would apply when you hit minimum distributions. You can use this kind of strategy and you can still buy life insurance in your 70s. But this is a life insurance strategy to tax proof or insure your IRA 401k. So when you pass away, even if that's a long time from now, uh, your beneficiaries are going to receive a tax-free inheritance as opposed to receiving an IRA balance that's all taxable. So the example, we're showing you two different life insurance strategies. They're both based upon $100,000 of life insurance on a 65-year-old man who's in the standard rate classification. Now, the standard rate classification is going to apply to a large group of people, 65. And to be standard, you're going to possibly have some chronic conditions like high blood pressure, or cholesterol, maybe some light depression, or where you're taking medicine for it, or various. There's a lot of chronic illnesses that you can have that are well under management, and you're still going to be a standard class for life insurance in your 60s. The rate is for a male, women are less, but we just wanted to show the more expensive rate and just understand that the strategy on the left, the ladies save 5% at standard rates, and the strategy on the right, the ladies are 15% less in premium. So if you're younger, you're going to have better rates than these. If you're a little older than 65, you're going to pay a little more. So this is just there for representation. And you also, many people have a much larger balance than $100,000. And so if you've got $500,000 in your IRA and you don't have to live off of it, you might want to insure the whole thing. You're going to multiply all these numbers times 5 to get insuring the whole thing. And this video is really for people who just have a large balance. They're not living off it. They're not planning to live off of it. And they really view minimum distributions at 73 as a bad thing. And what we're trying to do is develop a strategy so that you don't have a tax bomb after you pass away when this money is going to your spouse or your adult children, that they're not having to pay income taxes at a very high rate, taking a large distribution out of an IRA. So I'd like to bring Tom on to really talk about why we're doing this video.
Yeah, I mean, I think the why here is we have a lot of clients, a lot of people walk through our door that have these IRA balances and they really do not need to live off of it. They've saved well, but they have income coming in that covers their expenses. And so we ask them, what is this for? And they say, well, this money is for my kids. Well, if you leave an IRA and without doing anything to it to your kids, you're leaving them a tax bomb as they have this big account that has a lot of taxes that are going to be owed on that. And what a lot of kids do is they cash it out as soon as they get their hands on it. They pay a whole lot of taxes to the IRS. And if you're in a state that has state taxes it to the state, and a lot of this hard earned money that you've saved up this whole time is just gone in a flash to taxes. And so, really, what we want to do today is show you one strategy and really two strategies within the life insurance realm of how you can, get the IRS out of the IRA, out of the inheritance, and allow your kids or your beneficiaries to receive this money tax free. And so I want to bring up the show notes here. You can find these on the link below of the video. They're also on our website. I would encourage you to look at them if this is of any interest to you. We have a picture of the board. You can study it, maybe print it out. Sometimes if you're watching on your phone, the, the video can be kind of small. But later in the show notes, we have the two illustrations. The Penn Mutual one is this first one we're looking at. This is the left side of the board. This is the one where we have some cash value, and Hans will talk about this here in a second. And then the right side of the board is the Midland National Policy. Again, the full proposals are in the show notes. Take a look at them if you have any interest.
Okay. So what the objective of this strategy is to make the payment of the balance of the IRA to the beneficiaries tax-free. So they get the whole amount of money that was in the IRA, but it's now in life insurance. I mean, people that receive money don't really care what it's from or what it is. They do care about the taxation. And life insurance benefits come to a beneficiary, either a spouse or the adult children, tax-free. So the policy on the left, well, both policies are whole life. So when we start offering life insurance to people in their 60s, it's for different reasons than people buy it in their 30s. It is for the reasons of passing on tax-free money very expediently to the beneficiaries. And so people that are buying life insurance when they're seniors want to have whole life, because with a whole life policy, you know that it's going to be in force when you die, okay? With term life insurance, it's only if you die during the term that the thing's in force. So the policy on the left is just about $9,000 a year of premium for $100,000 worth of life insurance, but the premium only lasts 10 years. And this, within our scope of policies that we offer for this size, this is the largest amount of money that we can stuff into a policy. So the goal here in choosing this policy is for the largest premium that we can come up with. The goal over here with this policy is to have the smallest premium that we can come up with. And this policy has no cash value that it accumulates, or it's very little in the early years, but let's just call it none. And so the goal over here is just to make sure no matter what age you die at, whether that's 85, 90, 95, 100, 110, either one of these policies is still going to be in force and make that payment to the beneficiary. So the other thing I want to point out is when we do this strategy for people, we pay the premiums out of the IRA. So we deduct the premium from the balance plus the income taxes. So we're actually taking out of the IRA larger than $9,000 a year. We're going to probably take about $12,000 a year out of the IRA, pay about $3,000 of it in taxes, and then we're going to be left with the $9,000 to send to the insurance company, and we're only going to do that for 10 years. On this policy, you're going to pay the $3,539 a year for the rest of your life. So it's very important that you keep this premium paid and that you have a way to do that. But again, we're going to pay this out of the IRA. This plus the taxes, we're going to make the deduction every year, and we're really going to plan that so you can keep the policy in force the rest of your life. Now, there is an option out here to buy a 20-year term on this 65-year-old guy, $2,000 a year. And you say, well, why wouldn't I do that? Well, if this guy lives to 85 and now his insurance ends, sure, you've saved money on the premium, but if he dies at 88, his beneficiaries will get nothing. So this is within our scope, the least expensive way we can put whole life on you, which is $3,500 a year, 35 and some change. So I want to talk about this side of the board here. The reason we want to stuff as much money as we can into this life insurance policy and do it over 10 years is that it's going to accumulate a pretty significant cash value. So if we look at 10 years down the road in 2033, this guy's 75, he's paid in $89,000. So that's almost $100,000 in premiums. But he's got a cash value of $90,916. So a little more than the premiums paid in. And he has a death benefit of $124,990 because this policy pays dividends. We leave the dividends in the policy, and that grows the cash value and it grows the death benefit. So you're going to see this pretty dramatic over a number of years. Over on this side, this guy, after 10 years, has paid in a lot less money. He has zero cash value and he's got a $100,000 death benefit. So presumably there's still money in the IRA, or significant money. And so that makes up for that. Now, if we go out 15 years, guy's still paid the same premium because it stopped after 10 years. He's accumulated 118,000 of cash, 150,000 of death benefit, almost 150,000. We go out 20 years, it's almost 150 of cash, 176,000 of death benefit. Over here, he's paid out after 20 years 70,000 of premium, no cash value, still 100,000. And then we look at the guy at 90, 25 years down the road, the cash value has grown to 184,000. Over here, zero. And the premium here after 25 years is just about caught up with the amount that he paid in the first 10 years over here. So not really trying to compare these strategies. I'm not making this one look too good, but this is for somebody that just wants to pay in less to the life insurance company, but yet they want to insure the whole amount of their IRA. This one here is for somebody that wants to drain the IRA over 10 years, but yet they still want access to that cash value during their lifetime if they need it. And they want to do that. They're going to have pretty significant cash value. So I want to bring Tom on, and I want Tom to add some comments to this comparison of strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I think what would be helpful is to sort of maybe profile someone who might prefer the left side and then someone who might prefer the right side. So the left side of the board, where you are done with the premiums over 10 years and it's all paid up and the policy then just grows with the dividends and things inside that policy. What's nice about that is it's not tied to the stock market at all, right? It's uncorrelated. You don't have any, the gains are not based upon the performance. So someone who is very worried about the future of the stock market, or they don't enjoy taking the risk there, that left side of the board might be great. I mean, it's a nice alternative to bonds where you don't have the same interest rate risk and you get this dividend coming in that's buying paid up additions, and you have a growing death benefit and a growing cash value that you could access for yourself in the future. So that might be someone who's really would prefer that left side of the board. The right side of the board, that's going to be for someone who still maybe is okay taking some risk in the market. They want the death benefit. They like this idea, but they still want to hold some of their money back and have it invested. Someone might like that right side of the board where they're paying a lower cost. There is no cash value growth. That death benefit is fixed, but you still have other money set in the side that's still invested. Maybe you're okay with the ups and downs of the market. So that is just not one example of someone who might choose the left and someone might choose the right. So neither option is bad. Neither option is good. It's a tool. And so if the tool is right for you, then great. If not, then it's not. But again, I think it's helpful to understand why you might want one over the other. And so I think both again can serve the goal of really, I think it's helpful to take a step back and remember what we're trying to do is leave your beneficiaries in a better position where they're getting tax-free money as opposed to getting a large IRA that they have to pay taxes on that, all that money coming out of a traditional IRA. This is one way to solve that problem.
Okay, so just to summarize a bit, the premiums in our strategy are meant to be paid out of the IRA. The premiums plus an additional tax withholding so that we slowly drain this IRA or lower the balance in it. But on the other side of the equation, we have the life insurance that's either building a cash value, at the very least, if when you die, it's going to pay a tax-free benefit to your heirs. The preferred and preferred plus rates are available. So there's better rates available to people in progressively better health. We just wanted to illustrate something that was very realistic for people that are 65 and over. So it could be a little better than this. They also do ratings on these so that people that have some health problems think, oh, I'd never qualify for this. I mean, with some premium, some extra premium, we can deal with even some health conditions. It has the chronic and critical illness benefit on both of these policies, so you could access this death benefit early for if you needed somebody to provide care and you needed to pay for that, or just whatever expense you'd have with a critical illness or a chronic illness. There's living benefits on both of these policies. And then you can access the cash value through tax-free policy loans. So this person over on this side, they want to insure it for their children, but they don't want to give it to them now. They want to pay the taxes now, but they still want that money just in case. And it's available to you through tax-free policy loans that you could even pay back, or you could just leave them outstanding for the rest of your life and they'd just be taken out of the death benefit when it's paid to your children or your spouse. So both of these are excellent strategies. We used 100,000 because it's easy to look at the numbers and it's easy to change the benefits. So if you had a $500,000 IRA that you wanted to insure, you multiply everything times 5, and there would be a little discount on that because the more life insurance you buy from the same company, you get it a little bit better rate progressively at different amounts. So, as Tom said, we're in all 50 states in the District of Columbia. We work by Zoom and telephone. It's not going to cost you anything to have an initial conversation with us, and we're glad to do that. And we could run some proposals for the amount of either or both of these for your age, the amount of your IRA, whatever rating class you'd be in, and we could give you some real numbers as a projection. Be glad to do that. So today's whole show has been about estate planning. I mean, that's what we have really been preparing your IRA for it ultimately to pass to the next generation tax-free. We've been talking about taxes. We've been talking about income. We've been talking about IRA. We talked a little bit about long-term care. So I'd like to bring Tom back on. And I'm Hans Scheil.
And I'm Tom Griffith.
And we thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.